This episode of Bullet Heaven Unboxes was made possible with a copy of the game provided by Limited Run Games. It's finally time for one of the greatest comparisons in Bullet Heaven history. In this episode of Bullet Heaven Unboxes, we're taking a look at Game Tengoku Sega Saturn Gokuraku Pack and the all-new PS4 Paradise box from Limited Run Games. Game Tengoku The Game Paradise has been featured on Bullet Heaven 3 times already. Episode 27, 229, and 243 showed that we definitely have a soft spot for this quirky entry in parody shooting. From the very beginning though, we've always wondered how to go further in depth with the Gokuraku Pack version of the game, which we acquired all those years ago. It turns out the Limited Run Games Paradise Limited Edition of Game Tengoku Cruisin Mix Special was just the excuse we needed. So let's take a look at the classic Sega Saturn Special Edition and what could be our favorite modern limited edition to date. The Sega Saturn Game Tengoku Gokuraku Pack is a straightforward special edition packaged in a thin cardboard outer box. A common trait of these sets is the sun-faded pink side and top panels. Most of the boxes people will find exhibit this faded color, though it still looks more than presentable. Inside is a cardboard structure that holds the Gokuraku Pack's contents, starting with the game itself. The Saturn game disc has a standard jewel case that does a good job of showing players what the original colors looked like when new. The game disc is bright pink with silver accents, and the full color manual features all kinds of art, character bios, cast information, and even lyrics to the vocalized pieces throughout the game. We don't have the obi, unfortunately, but it looks like this. Under the game disc is the Game Tengoku Original Animation VHS tape. This 15-minute long OVA tells the story of the twisted genius Imada's initial attempt to control the world, and the slapstick attempts by the game's ragtag group to stop him. The remainder of the 60-minute runtime on this tape is dedicated to interviews with the staff and cast of the Game Tengoku production. Of course, it's all in Japanese, so a high understanding of the language will probably be needed. The Gokuraku Pack in general features a bunch of great design choices, with all kinds of information and tons of flashy imagery all over the box. The same also goes for the jewel case in general. All in all, the Gokuraku Pack is a great set for classic Saturn and Jaleco fans alike, but the VHS medium is less convenient than it used to be in the mid-90s, despite this tape's sometimes hilarious contents. At the very least, it definitely beats the questionable Ganbare Game Tengoku 2 animation features in the PlayStation release. As cool as this Saturn Limited Edition is, though, it doesn't hold a candle to the amazing wealth of extras in the Limited Run Games Game Tengoku Cruisin Mix Special Paradise box. Opening the box reveals a gigantic wealth of great content, tightly yet safely packed in its confines. First up is the Game Tengoku Original Animation DVD. Featuring a US-style Sega Saturn-inspired long box jewel case, this case even has a small block of foam to keep the insert pressed against the front of the case when closed. The front insert features the same art as the Cruisin Mix Special Gokuraku Pack for PlayStation 4 in Japan, and the tale of Game Tengoku's 20-year trek to home consoles in North America can be found on the back. Meanwhile, the back and side panels have all the hallmarks of a US Sega Saturn release. This case is also usable for the game disc itself, for those with retro sensibilities. Probably fitting since the back panel describes the game and not the DVD video. Speaking of the DVD, it has the same art on its disc as was found on the Sega Saturn Gokuraku Pack's VHS box. The OVA has a simple splash screen giving players the choice between subtitles on or off, but the video itself is actually a direct transfer of the VHS tape. There is combing and a fuzziness to the picture in general, but on the whole, it's a fantastic piece that can be much more easily played on today's devices. Next up is the dual CD soundtrack, featuring arranged tracks on the first disc and the original soundtracks on the second. Translated song lyrics can be found on the inner panel of the CD insert, and the back inner panel features logos from the games that Cruisin Mix Special's characters hail from. As always, the track listing can be found on the back of the case. The case also features a hinged dual CD spindle which fits in a single width jewel case. Nice touch. Onto the game itself, a standard PS4 Blu-ray case has all of the information players have come to expect of a modern release, including the game's number of players, storage, and so forth on the back of the case. The disc itself matches the front cover. There's an insert here as well, but nothing. Just a black interior with a health warning. Oh well. Going a bit further, it's worth noting that the foam in this box is firm, yet spongy. Really a great way to keep everything together. It's also totally removable, which helps because under this first layer is the extensive Game Tengoku Memorial Works art book. It has just a ton of art from Game Tengoku's entire history, including the arcade version, Gunbare Game Tengoku the Game Paradise 2, and even spin-off games that these characters have appeared in. A trove of design documents and even a sketched manga can also be found, but they are all in Japanese with no translation. Still a fantastic piece for the discerning Game Tengoku aficionado. But even better than that is the excellent selection of arcade flyers included in this box. Over 20 of them, in fact. There were all kinds of unexpected surprises in here. We could be here for a while, so here are just a few of our favorite pieces in this set. The Paradise box was $100 when it was first made available, and unfortunately, they've been sold out for quite a while. But the limited run game's Game Tengoku Paradise box is a fantastic example of how simply excellent limited run's limited editions have become. If this is the kind of content you dig, be sure to follow Limited Run Games for the latest new limited releases for indies and classics reborn alike. Releases like this are always being made, and this level of quality and quantity will most certainly be made available in future releases.